Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, where in today's video we have got something very nice to look at. Yet another piece of War Thunder news today that I felt I should make a video on. This being a devlog for a brand new jet aircraft. Unfortunately, not a tier 6. I know many people are looking forward to more info on future tier 6 aircraft, but this is actually a tier 5. This is going to be a very nice sort of early jet for the British in War Thunder, and certainly something that will be very useful in ground RB games, especially considering how this aircraft is a very nice little close air support vehicle. So this is the Sea Hawk, the FGA.6 variant, and this was a very early jet. This was one of the first carrier-based jets that the Royal Navy had access to, which does make it seem like this might go on the naval line, possibly in between the Attacker and the Sea Venom. Now, of course, this could also go, I suppose, on the sort of heavy twin-engine fighter line with the Mosquitoes and those sort of things. The only reason being that that line currently does not have a tier 5 or even tier 6 jet, so there is nothing on that line, and if Gaijin does want to continue that line into tier 6, they would need a tier 5 there. So that's the other possibility, although not quite as likely as the actual naval line itself. So obviously, rank 5, this aircraft has a top speed of 599 miles per hour or 964 kilometers per hour, which does make a BR around 7.0, possibly 8.0 seem fairly likely, although 8.0 I wouldn't be so sure on, considering the slower speed compared to other sort of counterparts at that rating. In terms of close air support, sort of payload that I mentioned, this has 12 underwing hardpoints, 6 on each wing. This can carry a variety of bombs, mostly unguided rockets. You can see that in one picture they are paired up on the pylons, and in the other ones there are 3 rockets on each pylon. So these depend on what type of rocket it is, it would seem. Certainly, though, an interesting addition nonetheless. This will, of course, provide the British pilots with a very effective high-tier ground attack-oriented aircraft, which is actually in line to compete with stuff like the American FJ-4B and the Russian IL-28SH, both of which have quite a strong presence in the sort of ground attack arena in the game right now, especially when you're looking into tank realistic battles, where those aircraft can cause quite a bit of trouble, although not quite as much as helicopters, obviously. But as I said, the British helicopter tree is not likely to come for a fair while, so having this kind of aircraft to use in tank RB is very good. Previously, I was using my Wyvern, which obviously in high tier tank games, when you're using a effectively propeller powered aircraft, when you might be facing up against MiG-19s, that isn't exactly the safest thing to do. So having this here is certainly very good. Of course, it will have capability to also be used as a fighter, and not to mention this aeroplane was also used by the Germans. So there's a possibility that sometime in the future we could see a Sea Hawk variant on the German tech tree as well. So certainly a very interesting aeroplane, nice little addition to get another British vehicle early on in these devlogs. There will of course be more devlogs later this week, maybe even one tomorrow, so it would be very nice to take a look at them and hopefully get some nice new stuff, maybe some more British vehicles, you never know, maybe a tier 6 jet that is supersonic, maybe an early Lightning, you never know. But this, nonetheless, having a new tier 5 is very nice, especially considering how a lot of people thought that after tier 6 was added, getting new tier 5s would be a fairly uncommon affair. We are now getting a new tier 5 British jet that will likely be a starter jet. Hopefully, I would actually hope on the heavy fighter line, even though it's not obviously a heavy fighter. It would be nice to have it there just to fill out that line with a tier 5 jet. Anyway, though, I am going to end the video there. Apologies for it being fairly brief. I was just trying to get through and say, yes, this is a thing. It's very nice to have, and I'm generally happy with this. It's obviously not going to be the best jet in the game, but it is just a nice little addition that will give the British a bit of a better chance, at least in tank RB and maybe even in naval games, if naval vessels get up to the same BR that this is at some point in the future. Anyway, though, if you did enjoy, please consider smashing the like button, maybe even subscribe to the channel. There will be much more development blog news coming soon, as well as normal gameplay videos, and then when it comes around to it, the dev server, which hopefully I will be live streaming, as well as putting out videos on when that happens. Anyway, though, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.